that this has all been about Olympic qualification and then about qualifying for teams. Sarah Besbes came into the tournament here in Budapest, safe in the knowledge that she'd qualified for the African zonal spot. Logunova's Russian team have qualified for the team event, and therefore Russia will have 3 individuals at the Olympic Games. The question is, will Logunova be on that team? And this result surely is going to work massively in her favour.
Oh, I think so. Logunova's been at the top of world fencing for 20 years. She's been winning World Cup medals for 20 years. So you can't really get more experience than that, I would say. And the fact that she's winning just as many medals in her 30s as in her 20s makes me think she's pretty much a dead set for the team for the Olympics. But, you know, you never know. I don't know what the Russian selection criteria is.
No, I don't think any of us do at the moment. As you're saying, Logunova's been winning medals for years. She actually got a bronze medal here last year, and she picked up a bronze at the last Grand Prix in Doha back in December. So she's still no stranger to those medals. World Cup silver medal for Besbes, and she's also the African champion. But perhaps quite telling was that she picked up the bronze medal at the Moscow World Championships last year. And that was maybe a touch of a surprise, but she's really built on that in terms of Olympic qualification. And, she's looking pretty strong. But like you say, the change in styles, a lefty against a righty yet again.
We're not seeing something wrong with the scoring equipment, it looks like.
There's a conversation going on down on the field of play with the referee and I think the production team.
As usual, in the first period, you're not seeing a lot of commitment, and the fences are just sounding each other out.
Well, for those of you new to for those of you new to épée fencing, it's the easiest to understand of the 3 swords. It is a point weapon, which means the fencers have got to hit their opponents with their sword, the tip of their sword, and the whole body is target, right away from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. And it's literally first person to hit, first one to draw blood, if you like, so it's like a real duel. And it's the only weapon where both fencers can score at the same time, and that's called a double, and we just saw that to take the score from 1-1 to 2-2.
Yeah, so Logunova, the Russian, did a flash at Sarah Besbes, and Besbes did a counter-attack within the 20th of a second of each other, so they both got a hit.
So it's effectively the same as drawing blood at the same time.
Exactly, that's what it's based on. And yes,
it was an extremely patient game, but not to be confused with it being boring. They are using a combination of distance and a change of distance and a change of direction, along with a very accurate sword arm and good blade movement. They don't want their movements to be too big with the blade, and so there's a lot of different kinds of techniques in terms of practice. Lots of footwork, lots of cardiovascular, but also lots of muscle memory.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do all kinds of different exercises. I sometimes do training with Besbes in Paris, and we do work on the ladder, lots of agility work, technical, tactical work, scenario practice. There's all kinds of, I mean, it's a sport where there's really no aspect of physical fitness or mental fitness that isn't relevant.
But along with that, I mean, top-class sport across the board as we come to the end of the first period, and we go into a minute break. For those of you again not in the know of fencing, a fight in a direct elimination in the semi-final will go up to a maximum of 15 hits, and it's fenced off in 3 3-minute periods. So we've had our first 3-minute period, and the fencers then get a 1-minute rest to take on some fluid, take a little breather, and talk to their coaches. But a lot of fencers, the cardiovascular elements and the strength and conditioning side of it is a sort of given for all elite sport.
Yeah.
But there's no replacement in fencing with actually fencing, right? You've got to duel with people to get the fight experience and fight craft.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of that happens a bit earlier in the career. I've heard that there are top fencers who do a lot of lessons, but keep their sparring training actually down to only a few sessions a week to keep it very intense, to keep they need to keep having the feeling of fencing and real bounce, but they don't want to just do high volume fencing. They want it to keep it quality.
Well, so the fitness and the footwork is incredibly important, but fight craft and experience, as you mentioned at the top of this semi-final, also play a key role. Sarah Besbes hooking up her mask to the electronic scoring system, the wireless system. So you'll notice, if you've watched fencing before, fencers used to have wires trailing out the back of them to an apparatus that links them up to the scoring system. Well, now it's all done by wire, a fly-by-wire system, a wireless system.
I think Besbes is trying to lure a counter-attack out of Logunova with that pretend attack, I think, really, to the leg.
We saw earlier on showing the hit underneath, looking for the hit underneath the arm and then dropping down to the body, and that time it worked out well for her.
Well, that time, seeing as she wasn't getting the reaction, she just continued.
Yeah.
She's not going to get the stop hit. Why not go for the hit?
And we saw that on the beautiful slow motion replay that you get here tonight of Hungarian TV covering this competition. In fact, it's live on Hungarian TV. I don't think they're picking up your commentary. I'm not sure I can understand. Well, Besbes has opened out a very small lead, and there you see a beautiful picture of the pommeling, a straight grip that the Tunisian is using to give a bit of extra length to the reach of her weapon.
Yes, so you can see the slow-mo replay there. It's brilliant to have slow motion replay when something so quick, because often the blade action is lost with small and fast.
Well, they take their fencing seriously here in Hungary, and especially their epee. They've got a massive lighting rig and cameras all around the place. So this is a big event. Besbes resetting there, running away from her opponent, but not losing her concentration.
She stayed ready. She stayed ready.
Superb stuff from the Tunisian.
I think Logunova doesn't want to counter-attack when she's being lured into it. She wants to do it on her. She wants to attack on her own terms. But Besbes is ready.
Yeah, taking the initiative is the big thing, isn't it? They want to.
They want to be in control.
You don't want to get trapped, right? Exactly.
There we go. She gave her the counter-attack that time.
Over 9 minutes. I mean, surely it's quite easy to fall into a trap. I mean, how do you keep your concentration levels so high? If you know the distance is constantly changing between the two fencers.
Absolutely, it's very difficult. I think it's the concentration element, as you say, is one of the sort of underrated skills of these champions, to be able to keep it going the whole fight. And I think, as we saw with Besbes earlier, she sort of came out of the distance, shook her legs a little bit, and sometimes you need to regroup because it's so hard to stay that focused for that long.
Well, we just saw from the replay that it looked like Besbes was prepared to change her tactics and not push and draw the counter-attack, step back and try and draw the attack from the Russian, and she was then ready to land her own counter-attack. And you saw a brilliant slow round back there. Anxious coach looking on.
Yeah, the Russian coach. And again, drawing the attack out of Logunova, ready with the parry. And we can see that again on slow-mo.
See the celebration. That's a good slow-mo nonetheless.
And here we go. The straight counter-attack on Logunova's attack.
But a bit of variety again shown there by the Tunisian. She's opened up a 4-hit lead as the clock ticks down for the end of the second period. Well, surely that's just a pure reaction,
that was
right?
A flick hit. I wonder if we can see it on the replay.
That's pure reaction, surely.
That
Mary,
was
right?
training. That is lessons. That is just her reaction. Absolutely, she saw the target. Boom.
Yeah. So when those opportunities do present themselves, they have to make such a decision in a millisecond. Do I go for this one, even though I didn't set it up?
absolutely.
And
Sometimes you have to just react. Sometimes you have to not be fooled into reacting. If someone is predictable in their reactions, then they're easy to beat. So you've got to always be careful of them.
Well, we get to the end of the second period. I know that there were 15 or so seconds left on the clock, but the referee decided the fencers had said, look, enough's enough in the second period, so they get their minutes break. And now we see Besbes talking to her coach. What's he going to say? He's saying to her
Georges
right now?
Caron, yeah, who works with her in Paris as well. I think he'll be warning her that she's going to change tactic. You must never, rule Logunova out of a fight. So I think we're going to see something different in this third period coming up. I think what she's doing is working at the moment, so she's going to keep trying to draw Logunova out otherwise, and do the stop hits, take the parry across if necessary, and make sure that she doesn't give in to what perhaps is now going to be a more aggressive Logunova.
Although, do you expect Logunova to come out immediately in that aggressive style, or will she try and pick off a few hits slowly, and then if time's running away, then she'll start to increase the
Absolutely.
pace?
So she's got a whole 3 minutes, and you can do a lot in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a 5-hit lead. It's not impossible to catch back by any means. So she'll be trying out whatever her new plan is, I imagine. I'm not making it too obvious.
Yeah, of course. And Besbes, of course, has the safety net of going for doubles. I know a lot of our players don't like to say that,
but it's true.
There
you go, exactly as you said. Yeah, she's gone straight into Logunova's attack.
I mean, I'm not suggesting, for example, as we see the replay of that double right there, I'm not suggesting for any stretch of the imagination that is Besbes' A game. That's what she's trying to do, but she knows that it's there as a safety net. And this time she goes in on the attack as Logunova steps into distance. Another double, no good for the trailing fencer as the gap stays the same, but the opponent gets ever closer to that magic score of 15. This looks like Besbes now, doesn't it?
It does. I'm intrigued to see what Logunova does now. Trying to get the blade.
Oh, just stepped into distance too fast, too quick, too close, and Besbes was ready for that.
She's closing the distance so much faster. We can see here on the slow motion. Big step in without the follow-up lunge or flesh. Yeah, absolutely. There's a pause, and while she's trying to take the blade, and Besbes is going to go for the high hit.
Great reaction and taking the opportunity when it came, looking for the mistake from her opponent.
Absolutely. I think you really have to stay aggressive at this point. You cannot sit back and wait for them to come and just hope to stick your arm out. You have to stay aggressive, go into the attacks. Don't take anything for granted, which is what Besbes is doing.
Packed crowd here, and Laura Cassell in the crowd there has spotted Besbes.
Not a time.
Well, just showing a bit of distance, opening up the distance, showing Logunova. Very clever.
She did a feint, she got the parry reaction, went round and did it. Very nice.
She's just one hit away now from going through the semis and fighting off the gold later on. It's been a good day for Tatiana Logunova, but I think it may well be coming to an end very shortly.
She seems to have any idea. She knows she needs to blade, but